Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Newsroom. I'm your host, Omar Khalid. But today is the 25th of December 2024. Merry Christmas to all of the people from the Christian community celebrating in Pakistan and across the globe. I hope you're having a great time with your friends and your family. This is going to be also our first segment today. We're going to talk about the spirit of Christmas, the soul of Christmas, what it is all about, how much it talks about the teachings of Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam, or Jesus Christ as they call him in the Christian community, and whether these sayings, these teachings are still prevalent, relevant today within the community and within the world. We'll be talking about interfaith harmony and many other things related to Christmas in our first segment. Our second story, ladies and gentlemen, concerns the 148th birth anniversary of Quaid-i-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. What would have we been without our Quaid? Would we have had Pakistan without our Quaid? No. Would we have been living in a state that we could call our own with all the freedoms that it provides us without the efforts of Quaid-i-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah and his compatriots? No. We owe him a lot, and the fact is that today we will remind ourselves of what we need to do in order to make our country stronger and amongst the best in the Committee of Nations. We'll be highlighting the efforts of Quaid-i-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and we'll also be sharing some of his quotes in our second segment. Let's begin our first segment, and of course talking about Christmas, talking about Jesus Christ, talking about the spirit, the soul of today, and what it all represents for the Christian community and for the world. We've been joined by Aneel Peter. He's a motivational speaker. He joins us online. Aneel, thank you very much to have joined us. We'll be joined by Reverend Father Nasir in a bit. But Aneel, thank you very much to have joined us. And Aneel, Merry Christmas to you and your loved ones. What does the celebration of Christmas symbolize, in your point of view, for the Christian community across the world?
Omar, thank you very much. With respect to the Christmas celebrations across the world, look, Christmas symbolizes the birth of Jesus Christ. And the birth of Jesus Christ symbolizes the love of God for the human mankind. And when we talk about the love of God for human mankind, that means that whenever we feel that God cares about human mankind, that God cares about this world, that means that there is still hope. And hope is what we say that makes the world go around. Basically, we're talking about that God thinks about humans, God thinks about us as his children, and God thinks about us in a way that he wants to make sure that we are given the best possible chance to live a good life and then go to heaven. And that's, I think, what all the religions in the world, or the major religions in the world, teach or think about. And celebrating Christmas symbolizes that connection of man or mankind with God, that he believes in mankind and its goodness. And he has given us a chance that through his son or through Jesus Christ, and by doing all the good deeds that are being taught to us, we have a chance to actually have or lead a very good life and then go to heaven. And celebrating Christmas is basically celebrating life, celebrating love of God, which everybody can celebrate. I hear this a lot, that a lot of times we say that Christians are celebrating Christmas, but I would say that since love of God can be celebrated by anyone across the world, so this is something which can be celebrated by anyone and all humankind across the world.
Stay online with us, Aneel. We've also been joined by Reverend Father Nasir. He is, of course, a Catholic priest. Reverend Father, thank you very much to have given us the time, and Merry Christmas to you, your community, and your loved ones. How can the message of love and compassion that Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam or Jesus Christ inspire individuals in these modern times of discord, of so many misunderstandings that exist between people, communities, nations? Are his teachings still relevant today?
Yes, thank you very much for taking me on call, and Merry Christmas to you also. And the question is very, very good, because when we celebrate Christmas, usually we write on the posters or on the backgrounds, the love is born. And it has a very deep meaning relating to the teaching of Jesus Christ, because when we see as an individual, as a community, or maybe as a nation, so the love in our lives, in our communities, in our world, almost dead. People have not concern for each other. They don't respect each other. And the basic ethical values are gone from the life of the people. So when we write this, the love is born, the purpose of birth of Jesus Christ was this: there was injustice all over the world. Injustice is not in a sense that the nations are fighting with each other. Injustice may be the second name of God is love. And when God is missing from their life, from their actions, so we need somebody who can rebuild and rebuild the relationship with love, those who are already dead in that situation. So Jesus Christ's teaching is still relevant when this Christmas comes, and we give the same message that we have to give hope to the hopeless. We have to give to the peace, give peace to all those people who are peaceless. Peaceless is not just the people are fighting on the borders. And maybe the peace is peace of mind. Maybe the individual is suffering, suffering with many, many psychological problems. He is in unpeace. He or she is disturbed. So we have to give them a peace. Then joy. Joy is missing wherever. We experience people, we meet people, and they are so much depressed. By face, they give us a very, very artificial smile when you greet them. So we have to make people, according to the teaching of Jesus Christ, that they should be joyful. And the last is love. And when we love across, keeping all these things inside, that we are human beings, love of humanity. So we serve as a Christian, as a Muslim, as other person, whoever is in this world, as a human. So we still spread the teaching of Jesus Christ in this world.
All right. Stay on line with us, Reverend Father. We've got much more to discuss with you as well. Aneel, coming to you, in which ways, in your point of view, that can the teachings of Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam or Jesus Christ be applied to address the challenges of today, such as poverty, such as inequality?
So there are many teachings of Jesus Christ. I mean, love and compassion are something which are universal and can be applied on everyone and in every situation. But to your question, there are two specific things which I would like to highlight here. First is Jesus Christ taught us that we have to treat every person as he or she is our neighbor. And when we talk about our neighbors, usually it's said that, we treat them in the best possible way, or we love them more than others. We think of them as our friends, as our brothers and sisters. So if we treat every other human being as our neighbors, as our brothers and sisters, that means that we will treat them in a way that would be like to treat even ourselves. And that's the second saying where we say that we are taught that we have to treat others, or we have to do with others as if we would do with ourselves or with our real brothers. So the idea is, when we talk about inequalities, when we talk about poverty, if we see people who are poor, if we see people who are going through hard times, if we see people who are being not treated equally by others, if we think of them as our brothers and sisters and neighbors, can and should help them in any way we can. It can be moral help, it can be financial help, it can be any other way we can lift them up in their lives. If somebody is going through depression, if somebody is going through any kind of loss, if we think of them as our fellow human beings, as if we would treat or want us to be treated by others, that's where we would really need to make sure that we are following the teachings of Christ, and they can be followed by anybody in the world, to make sure that this inequality, this pain which people go through, or poverty which people have to suffer, is not there in the world. And one more important thing, that there's a saying in the Bible that a rich person has a lesser chance of passing or going through the heaven as compared to a camel passing through a needle, or the eye of the needle. So basically that means that any person who has more money than his requirement, he should or she should be sharing that money with others who need that money more than us. So any person who has been blessed by God by more wealth, by more means, they need to make sure that they are sharing that wealth with people around them so that all of them have enough means to actually live at least a good enough decent life. So the issue of poverty, the issue of these things which people do not have enough means or enough to eat or wear stuff, that will be resolved if we follow teachings of Christ.
All right. Reverend Father Nasir William, coming to you. Forgiveness is something that we see less and less of in today's world, within communities, within families, within nations, intra-nations, so many conflicts because of a lack of forgiveness. How does the concept of forgiveness, as has been emphasized by Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam or Jesus Christ, resonate with today's polarized world?
Yes, it's very, very common. Our teaching, like a teaching of Jesus Christ, is all emphasizes on forgiveness. For example, like a human person, he had sinned against God when he disobeyed him. And the first message gives we have to go for forgiveness, like God is ready to forgive us, and we have to go for repentance. That is spiritual and other meaning. But in the society, especially society around us, its tolerance is zero. We don't accept people, and we are not taught from the families to say sorry to anybody. So I must say that Jesus Christ, he says that you have to forgive your brothers, not 7 times, but more than 7 times, maybe 70s of 70s, when there is no limit of forgiveness. Every time you come, you have to forgive. So the most emphasis we give in the churches, in the schools, and in all our public institutions, we teach people that how they have to forgive each other.
All right. Aneel, coming to you, I'd like to understand the role of youth. We talk a lot about the role of the youth, which is of course in majority in countries such as Pakistan. How can the role of the youth to promote welfare in societies, in the nation, can be brought forward, can be brought forth as per the teachings of Hazrat Isa or Jesus Christ?
Well, Omar, if you're talking about how we can teach the youth how to impart these things, like how we can teach our youth to have more love and compassion, how we can teach our youth to treat each other equally, how we can teach them to be compassionate with others, make sure that they are respecting the human rights of everybody in our country or their fellow human beings. So I think there are 2 or 3 ways that can be done. One is the grassroots level, where obviously we're talking about starting from the school level, where we teach them not when they have become adults or when they have become grown-ups, but instead we need to focus on when they are in grade 1 or 2 or 3. And we need to make sure that these morals, these teachings, which are, by the way, universal, not related to any specific religion, they are taught these morals so that when they grow up, they already know that they need to respect the law, they need to respect fellow human beings, they know that stealing is wrong, they know that honesty is the best policy, they know that hard work is the only route to success, no shortcuts, no other measures which lead to criminal path, stuff like that. Secondly, I think that because this is the age of social media, so programs like this or other things which are happening, they are very well done. I mean, they are being, that's very well being done, because I would really appreciate this to be continued. However, the social media is something which is in our faces all the time. Everybody's on their phones, everybody has some reels going on all the time. So social media is the way to go, where we need to make sure that we are using the social media to really educate our youth, to really tell them that these are the things which need to be brought in their natures, which need to be made sure that are being followed by them. And I think by regularly repeating that message, hopefully that message then gets really translated and imparted to a large number of youth, and eventually then one good message or one good person or one good deed leads to the next 3 and so on, then that chain reaction starts. And so often we see that any good idea which gets a hit becomes a universal concept. And a lot of times we miss out that and we feel that one small good deed or one small good idea may not have an impact. So I feel that's where we need to really use the social media and really need to make sure that our youth is getting these morals or teachings from the grassroots levels or not, and not when they basically become adults or at later stages.
It's a very important point of view, and I hope that a lot of people, especially our youth, are listening to what you have to say. Reverend Father Nasir William, coming to you. Aneel Peter talks about universal concepts. One of the universal concepts is, of course, today's day that we are celebrating, that is Christmas. How, in your point of view, can Christmas play an important role to promote peace, to promote goodwill amongst the people of different cultures, of different religions?
Well, it is very, very common among our practices of Jesus' teaching in our life. Like we have many institutions and schools, and in those institutions and schools, we teach children inclusive. Inclusive mean not telling them that this is something written in the Bible, but we teach them the values. And for example, Jesus' birth in this world was to restore love, to bring peace, and also give hope, and many other values he has given to us. So through this Christmas, we are very happy that people understand the spirit of Christmas. The spirit of Christmas is love is born, and that love is spread among all the people of the world.
I think that's a very important message, and I think that message needs to get across as well. We see a lot of inter-community celebrations as well, even in Pakistan, where we see different religions coming together and celebrating Christmas together, or celebrating even the different Eids together as well. Aneel, coming to you, what, in your point of view, are some of the traditions that you feel that are associated with Christmas that promote community and togetherness?
Well, look, again, Christmas is like Eid, where whenever there is an Eid or there is a festive, when it comes to any religion, the idea is that first of all, there is the spiritual connection, where obviously people on Christmas would go to church. That would give them a chance to connect with the God, meet people at church, just like we offer Eid prayers. And then Eid or Christmas or any festive basically revolves around meeting your friends, meeting your family, and celebrating that festival without thinking about any negativity, without thinking about anything else. So similarly on Christmas, the idea is that this is the day where everybody across the world is celebrating Christmas. So like if I give a personal example, we get visited by family, we get visited by friends. Sometimes we haven't seen them for a year. And this gives us a chance to reconnect, to discuss, to talk, to relive memories, and that too in a most loving and friendly way, without being judged by each other, without thinking about anything else. Also, I think whenever there is a national holiday with respect to any festival, that enables that, because nobody's working, everybody's off, apart from the restaurants or similar important areas. So people are relaxed. People can go out, people can eat, people can take their children out, can spend time there with their families. So these are the regular traditions which Christmas has, like any other festival. On top of that, if you talk about, for example, there is Santa Claus, which is associated with Christmas. So Santa Claus, depicts an old man who is ever loving, especially for children, gives free gifts and sweets to children. So that is another concept of any elderly person or any person who has love for children or the poor and needy. And the idea is to give. Whoever has more resources or more stuff, the idea is to give, to share. So that's a very important concept which has evolved over the years. And as you know, Santa Claus is a universal concept now. It's associated with Christmas. Everybody thinks that Santa will come, and kids sleep at night across the world thinking that when they wake up in the morning, there will be gifts lying under the Christmas tree or under the chimneys or under their beds, which are basically bought by their parents or by their other family or friends. But this symbolizes the spirit of giving and spreading of love. And apart from that, there's decoration and regular, food items which are made, but they vary from culture to culture, country to country. In my home, sheer khurma is prepared, which would not be prepared, I'm sure, in a home in the West. They may prepare some other food items, but obviously, as you know,
Christmas is also concerned. So I understand, and of course I wish you again a very Merry Christmas to you, to your loved ones, to your family, to your friends, and I hope events such as Christmas bring all the different communities and religions together and make us understand each other in a much better fashion. That is, I feel, what Christmas also represents one way or the other. Thank you very much, Aneel, Peter, to have joined us. Last question to you, Reverend Father Nasir William. What message would you like to give today to our viewers on PTV World on this very auspicious occasion of Christmas to Pakistanis and to people all across the world?
Thank you very much. I really want to give a message, a positive message on this Christmas to the people in Pakistan. On this platform, I would like to share a little sadness of also my life. I have been invited for some programs. Some people, they are working in the different institutions, but when they wished Christmas, they have just degraded them, that you people have only serving us in cleaning the hospitals, cleaning the schools, cleaning all the offices, and therefore you are working with us, and we are compelled to wish you your Christmas and your special day. I must say, if you really just don't wish them, don't say these words if you don't want to say, at least you give them the real message of Christmas. You just love them as a human person. So as a human, you just have to you share with them the joys and whatever the sadness they are sharing in their difficult times of serving in different institutions. So I must say, the love is only source where we can come together, and love has no boundaries. Love is beyond the religion. Love is beyond your expectations, what you're expecting from every person, because we are all human being, creation of God, and God is love. And the one who has created us, he loves us. So he does not make discrimination or maybe difference between any person which he has created. And if he really does not like to create that person, and how could he send that person in this world? And therefore, I must say that we have to spread this love through our actions. And this is Christmas message for all people who are viewers and all over the world who are watching us.
Thank you very much, Reverend Father, to have joined us, to have given us this message of love, of peace, of harmony. I think this is the message that everyone needs to take with him or her across. We need to understand each other, we need to understand other faiths, and we need to understand and see the commonalities that all faiths have and work towards that and work towards bridging gaps instead of making more gaps. Thank you very much, Reverend Father Nasir William, to have joined us, to have discussed this very auspicious occasion of Christmas and the teachings of Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam or Jesus Christ. And of course, we wish you and all the Christian community in Pakistan and across the world a very Merry Christmas. Let's come to our second story, which also pertains to this very important day, and that is the founder of our nation, Quaid-i-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Today is his 148th birth anniversary, an auspicious day nevertheless, because it always reminds us of the sacrifices that our founder and his compatriots gave to give us this country that we call the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. What would have happened had we not been given this state? We still see what is happening to the Muslims in India. They cannot even buy land in this day and age. We'll be back with more discussion on this, but after a short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We are discussing Quaid-i-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah's 148th birthday anniversary and what he meant and still means to us as Pakistanis. I'd just like to begin with one quote that he said, "There is no power on earth that can undo Pakistan." We've got two guests with us in the studios. Let me introduce them to you one by one. On my very right is Javed Siddiq Saab, our senior analyst and a very dear friend. Thank you very much, Javed Saab, to have joined us. And our second guest is Syed Hassan Raza, who's a political history researcher and an analyst as well. Thank you very much, Hassan, to have joined us. I'll begin with you, Javed Saab. What, in your point of view, have been the key influences in our Quaid's early life that shaped his vision and character, which we talk about so prominently nowadays?
I think Quaid-i-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was struggling to for the independence of India, the subcontinent, in the very beginning, and he joined Congress. But later on, he discovered, to his disappointment and dismay, that Congress was working on communal basis. Congress was working only for the interest of the Hindu majority, and it was ignoring the rights of the Muslims. And these were the days when one of the historians, a very prominent historians of India, Mrs. Sarojini Naidu, said that Muhammad Ali Jinnah is an ambassador of unity of the people of India, that he represented both Muslims and Hindus, ambassador of unity. But later on, when Mr. Jinnah discovered that the Congress plan is basically, after winning the independence from the British, that the Congress wanted to exploit the minorities, including Muslims. So that realization dawned on him, and he started working for the creation of a separate homeland for the Muslims of the subcontinent. And I think these early days of his politics made him realize that the Hindu majority is trying to basically play games with Indian Muslims and is not sincere in granting their fundamental rights, political, social, and economic rights. That actually motivated him to join the All India Muslim League, and he emerged as the sole spokesman of the Muslims of subcontinent.
All right, Hassan, how did our Quaid transform the Muslim League into such a political, powerful force?
So, first of all, I would like to wish a Merry Christmas to our Christian community and all those who are celebrating. So, we have to look at the formative years of Quaid as a young aspiring lawyer in London, in England. And over there, we also know that early in his years, he wanted to become an actor.
Yes.
And he volunteered to a theatre company that he would be working for them for Shakespeare plays. So that did not work out. During those years, Quaid-i-Azam was also frequenting the Houses of Parliament, and he was listening to the speeches of the eloquent Gladstone, William Gladstone, who served as Prime Minister of England several times. He was quite inspired by him, and his vision of democracy in the subcontinent was based on the sort of participative parliamentary democracy which was taking place in England at that time. And that late 1800 period is also known as the golden age of British democracy, because we had the most eloquent and the most competent politicians at that time in Britain, which is why it had an empire to such a great extent that was ruling over the world. So he got his initial training from London. Over there, he was also a member of the Fabian Society, and he was under the mentorship of Annie Besant, who was initially the advocate for home rule, and she later on also became the leader and president of the Indian National Conference. She was an English woman, but Jinnah deeply admired her, and under her pupillage, Jinnah learned how politics can be organized, and also his experience as a lawyer helped him with his persuasive skills and his public speaking skills, which he worked on. And I think he was very sharp, a quick learner, and all those things basically aided him in organizing Muslim League into such a great force, which would eventually lead to the creation of Pakistan.
All right, fast forward to 1940, Javed Saab. What was our Quaids' role in the Lahore Resolution of 1940, and why was that so significant for Pakistan's creation or independence?
At one stage during this struggle for the creation of Pakistan, Quaid-i-Azam got very disenchanted with the environment here in subcontinent, and he decided to say goodbye to politics, and he went to UK, back to London, where Allama Iqbal, the poet of the East, he went there and he persuaded him to come back to India and lead the Muslims of the subcontinent, because they needed him so badly. So Quaid-i-Azam returned at the persuasion of Allama Iqbal, and he joined Muslim League again. I think the Lahore Resolution was the monumental event in the struggle for the creation of Pakistan, and that resolution actually laid down the foundation of Pakistan, and that spelled that Muslims of the subcontinent were a different entity. They wanted a separate homeland for them, and I think that was the beginning of the creation of Pakistan. So Quaid-i-Azam played a very pivotal role in shaping the things, particularly the holding of the great rally at Lahore for this Pakistan resolution, where very prominent Muslim leaders, Muslim League leaders were present. And I think the presence of Quaid-i-Azam made a huge difference. And by passing this resolution, Quaid-i-Azam had declared that no power on earth can stop the creation of Pakistan now. And that played a very significant role. And it became very clear that the Muslims of the subcontinent, under the leadership of Quaid-i-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, will win freedom for a separate homeland, Pakistan.
All right. Hassan, what in your point of view were the core principles, the core philosophies that guided Quaid-i-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah's leadership as well as decision making, whether it came to forging a land for the Muslims of the subcontinent, whether it be his leadership qualities?
It is often repeated, and we have grown up listening to this motto, which is, I would say, our national motto: unity, faith, discipline. They encapsulate the core values which Quaid believed in. If we dig deeper into that, Quaid-i-Azam was a stoic person. He had an unwavering resolve, and he was not a man who would give up that easily. So you see, at that time, there were great leaders who were opposed to him, and great forces who probably did not want Pakistan to ever become a reality. They were present. Jinnah single-handedly negotiated with them, with people like Nehru and Gandhi. Gandhi, perhaps he had a softer stance towards the Muslim League, but other people in the Indian National Conference, they were very hard to convince, but Jinnah dealt with them befittingly. And as we say that Allama Iqbal is the ideological father of Pakistan, Jinnah is the one who turned this ideology into a reality. He was quite different from Iqbal, who was prone to romanticism and poeticism, whereas the Quaid was a logical man, a rational man, and he understood the ground realities of the subcontinent's politics at that time. He was very adept at dealing with the British, and I think Jinnah was well respected even by his opponents for these qualities that he had, and they are a lesson for the youth of our country and the leaders of our country, because this is how you do politics. This is how you become a statesman, through selfless service to your community, to your people, and eventually he reaped the benefits of his decades of struggle with the Muslim League and eventually we have our own independent homeland.
And we owe it to him and to his compatriots. Javed Siddiq Saab, how did Quaid-i-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah define the whole concept of democracy, and why did he consider it essential for Pakistan's governance?
I think before the creation of Pakistan, questions were being raised as to what will be the system of a new homeland of the Muslims of the subcontinent. And Quaid-i-Azam made it very clear that our system has been declared and pronounced thousands years back, 1400 years back, which is Islam. That he made very clear. But subsequently, to run the state, the new state of Pakistan, what kind of system of governance will take place in Pakistan, and how Pakistan is going to deal with the new situations.
All right, we have to cut short for a moment. We have to go to a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and I would just like you, Javed Sahab, to finish your answer as far as democracy and Pakistan is concerned.
I think when Quaid-i-Azam was asked as to what is going to be the system of governance in this newly created state of Pakistan, he said that Pakistan is going to be an Islamic, democratic welfare state. That was his vision about Pakistan. And further, he elaborated that we will have a parliamentary system of governance in Pakistan. But I think the core issue, the core principles of the new state of Pakistan on which it was to be based was Islam, democracy and welfare.
All right.
And his speech of 11th of September is very significant in defining the future of Pakistan, in which he said that from today onwards, all considerations of color, creed and religion and all these things will vanish, and all citizens of this country are going to be the equal citizens in accordance with the law and the constitution of this land. And that was a remarkable speech of Quaid-i-Azam, and that defined the contours of the future government of Pakistan.
All right. Another thing that defined Mr. Jinnah was his feminism, Hassan. He was known to be one. He has stated more than once that women were as important to the independence movement as men were to the progress and also to the progress of Pakistan. In a speech, he said, "No nation can rise to the height of glory unless your women are side by side with you. We are victims of evil customs. It's a crime against humanity that our women are shut up within the four walls of the houses as prisoners. There is no sanction anywhere for the deplorable conditions which our women have to live." And of course, he is known to have talked about and discussed and highlighted the rights for women. How do you see, I mean, today in this age, our Quaid as a feminist, and how important was his backing of women's rights then, and how important is it now?
So, first of all, Quaid-i-Azam was not a feminist in the modern sense of the word, in the Western sense that we use the word these days. Feminism as a political movement which emerged as a result of suffragette movement in Britain, and slowly through its various waves evolved into what it is today. But Quaid-i-Azam was one of those people. He was from that crop of leaders, of Muslim leaders in the subcontinent, who were sort of enlightened, and their belief of religion was based on was inspired by people like Syed Amir Ali, who wrote The Spirit of Islam, and it was quite progressive. So Jinnah, yes, clearly believed that women should not only play a role in boosting the economy of the country, but also they should participate in other races of life, in social aspect. Because just this morning I saw in the newspaper a big photograph of Mr. Jinnah speaking to Pakistan's female Olympic athlete team. And he was quite happy in that picture, as it was quite evident that Jinnah was happy to see that women in Pakistan are also taking part
I think,
in
Hassan,
sports.
you know, there are so many messages that we can take from the personality of Quaid-i-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, of what he stood for, and amongst all of the different things. I mean, if you had to decipher his personality, there are so many different aspects to his personality that if we embody even 2 or 3 of them, we could consider ourselves better human beings. And this is what this day symbolizes as well, to remind us of the personality of the person that the Quaid was, and to thank him for giving us this state that we can call our own, this land that we can call our own. Thank you very much, Javed, Siddiq Sahab. Thank you very much, Sayyid Muhammad Hassan, Raza, to have joined us. I'd just like to end today's show with this quote by Quaid-i-Azam, who said, "With faith, discipline and selfless devotion to duty, there is nothing worthwhile that you cannot achieve." Think about that, and of course resonate on that to become a better human being and a better Pakistani. Allah Hafiz.